The message was, Gurmukh bhagat jug chare hoi, horat bhagat na paaye koi, nanak naam gur bhakti paaye, gur charani chit lavane-aa. All through the time, jug chare. Yug literally means continuum of the time. There is no concept in the Eastern mysticism about when the time consciousness shifts. They say, they consider 4 types of consciousness on the continuum of the time. The first type of consciousness, where only the purity matters. Everything in life is tested on the touchstone of purity, 100%. And that is called Dharma Yuga. Dharma means the purity. And then the next one is called Treta, meaning where the discipline, control over the senses is the primary key. Then is the Dwapar, where penance, meditation is the key. And the fourth one is Kali Yuga, where only the self is important. But the interesting thing is, you cannot say that from the start to these many years it was only Dharma, from here it was only Treta, from here it was only Dwapar, from here it is only Kali Yuga. You cannot divide the time like that. Even though people try to think it that way. But that's not a reality. Yuga is not associated with the time. Yuga is associated with the consciousness, the quality of the consciousness. For example, when the human body is just a seed, and we all started from there, it was pure Dharma Yuga. Because everything in the body was happening according to the laws of Dharma. There are no cause and effect there, only laws of Dharma. So that means you were living in the Dharma Yuga. Then you are born. And now what is important? What's important to the child? Just the senses. Isn't it? The child has no other consciousness. All the input is through the senses. No intellect yet. But the child feels everything. Taste. So the taste buds are developing. Because if the taste buds were ripe on the day of the birth, the child would not be able to drink mother's milk. Because mother milk has no taste. That's why the child is able to swallow it. As the child grows up, What are we teaching him? His consciousness slowly, from the senses, he moves on to the desires. And a little bit more, then everything is about the stuff. He has come into the Kali Yuga. So, if you look at the time scale and look at the history of consciousness evolution, you will find that what the thinkers call as Sat-yuga, meaning thereby only the dharma, only the purity, even then there were souls who are only concerned with themselves. That means in the fourth level, the first level, consciousness exists. Let's take a quantum leap and come to the Kali Yuga, the fourth level. Even today, the first level souls exist. The meditators exist. The enlightened souls exist. A Buddha is born into this. A Jesus becomes a Christ in this dimension. The question is, what is the majority? If the majority is concerned with only the dharma, only the purity, and the minority is associated with only the self, you call it a Sat-yuga. It is a time of purity. But there is nothing 100%. And that was the message last time, so that's why I elaborated a little bit. Gurmat bhagat jub chaare hoi. The meditators have been all through the time. Jub chaare, yuga, chaare means four. All four levels of existence, mindset, way of thinking, it has existed all the time. The earth has never been devoid of either the first level or the fourth level. It has always been there. But their proportion has been shifting. At the fourth level, it was rare to find a soul of the first level. And in the fourth level, it's rare to find a soul of the first level. That's the difference. Make sense? Gurmat bhagat juguchare hoi. All four levels of existence have seen the bhagat, the meditator, the one who is connected with him. The earth has been never, ever empty of it. Horat bhagat naa-ay koi. And there are not multiple ways. It is a misnomer, misinformation that there are multiple ways. There's only one way, which is to remember him, to focus on him. Technique of remembering can be different. See the subtlety? We become concerned with the technique and fight over it. And we forget completely that the ultimate objective is to focus on him. Or, as per Asha, on her. Or on it. He, she, it. Whatever pleases you. Because when you are an atheist, you are also focusing on it. You may not know it. Is it not? In order to say he is, you have to remember it. Right? And in order to say he is not, you still have to remember it. You think you are denying him. The reality is you are remembering him. Because every time you deny, the thought has to come. You cannot get away with it. You can never, ever get away from it, just as a fish can never, ever get out of the ocean and survive. But the fish goes to the right side, goes to the left side, goes down, comes up, and she is thinking, I'm free of the ocean. Ocean has nothing to do with me, look. And that's how human consciousness works. I have nothing to do with the God, and he is having fun. He's just smiling. Just as the kids sit on the shoulder of the mother and say, Mom, I'm taller than you today. Right? And what does the mom do? She just smiles. The child is playing. What else can she do? When we deny his existence, he just smiles. He just looks at how grown we are. He says, he's just still a child. Doesn't see the truth. Doesn't see the reality. And when the reality is pointed out, you ask that mother who tries to explain to the kid, you are not bigger than me, you are standing on my shoulders. Say, no, I'm not. And the child will only jump on the shoulder. See, I am taller, I am higher, I am bigger, I am better. The ego will never ever allow you to see the reality. That's how ego plays. The whole of the conflict in the universe is because of that one single entity, the ego. We saw that last Sunday. White race is supposed to be better than all other races on the planet. End of discussion. Forgetting that the white is not a genetic condition. It is an environmental condition. If your parents who are living in South Africa desert, where the average temperature is 120 degrees Fahrenheit, you will also be black. And you can leave California and live in Alaska for 6 years or 5 years, you will also start turning white. It's a pigmentation in the skin. Nothing more, nothing less. Science knows it. Common sense knows it. But the ego doesn't. Ego will refuse it. I am different. And not only I am different, but I am better. I am superior. Ego will keep on beating that drum till it convinces itself and lives in that self-delusion throughout the entire life. Just as this delusion can lead to destruction around in the surroundings as well as to yourself. Ego doesn't forgive. It will punish. One way or the other, you will get punished in this dimension as well as in the other dimension. If you keep forgetting the fundamental, and what was the fundamental? Horat bhagat na paaye koi. There are not many ways to get to Him. There is only one way, which is remember Him. Focus on Him. Shift your focus from the multitudes of distraction and bring the focus on one. You may use the English language, or you may use the Pali language for a Buddhist, or Hindi language for a Hindu, or a Punjabi language for a Sikh, or English language for a Christian, or Persian language for a Muslim. How does it matter? If you are remembering Him and focusing on Him, then the tools are not at all significant. And by looking at the tools, if you are saying my path is different, then you are mistaken, because now your ego is talking. Because that difference is the byproduct of the time and space intersection where you appeared on the planet, meaning by your birth. It is the byproduct of that event, which is not unique by itself. Had I not migrated to the United States, my children would have been born in India. The reality would be something different for them. I migrated, my children were born here. Does it make them any superior? Were they born in India? No. That's just a byproduct of time and space intersection where the event takes place. So when a Christian will say, I am getting to my Father by doing this, and a Buddhist will come and say, no, that's not the way to go, this is the way to go. That means both are now stuck with their ego. They have forgotten that the objective is only one, and the path is only one, which is Horat bhagat na paaye koi, Nanak naam gur bhagati paaye, gur charani chit lagaavani-aa. That is the foundation. Gur charani chit lagaavani-aa. Chit means consciousness, chetanta. If the consciousness is focused on the Creator, you are getting to Him. If the consciousness is focused on the outside world, you are attached with the world, that's it. It's not very complicated. The ego first creates the problem, then looks for the solution. And if by any chance it finds a solution, now it feels very proud. I solved the problem. Forgetting that problem wasn't there in the beginning. You created it. Where is the problem? You stop calling yourself different, separate, better. There is no problem. But if you are different and separate, then all problems will come. You bring it down to the micro level of a relationship between a man and a woman. What's the problem? I am different. That's it. And my difference means I am better. And bonding starts. But if you remember, I am a part of the energy which has these roles. You are a part of the same energy which has these roles. And we can play our respective roles and live happily ever after. No. What's the fun in that? I'm going to prove to you that I am better than you. Your role is inferior. My role is better. And I'll prove myself right, I'll prove you wrong. Whole of the world lives in a total chaos, total confusion. Why? That one is forgotten. Many are remembered, but one is forgotten. How do you get this clarity? Nanak naam gur bhagati paa-in. You get this clarity by meditation. And through meditation, you seek His grace. You seek strength from Him. But what do we do? Through meditation, we seek power. Be it a mystical power, political power, economic power, physical power. Nevertheless, it is power in one shape or the other. We never seek Him. We never seek His grace. Why? Because if I do, then I have to surrender my ego. And that's one bargain which I'm not going to do. I'm going to maintain my ego. I'm going to maintain my individuality. Have you ever thought of the word individuals? Where does the word individual come from? Something that cannot be divided. Division. Divide. Individual. Something that cannot be divided. Who is that cannot be divided? We are divided 10,000 different directions. We are sitting here and thinking of our next trip to Hawaii. And we call ourselves individuals. We are sitting here and we are thinking about what I did in my office, and tomorrow is Saturday, what I am going to do the moment I get out of here. Are we individuals? Individual means something that cannot be divided. And you cannot be divided under only one situation. One and only one situation, when you are focused on Him, because He is not divisible. And if you are focused on Him, you will not be divisible. You will become an individual. in the true sense. Otherwise, you will always be divided in multiple thoughts, totally disconnected. And if you have ever tried to sit down for 5 minutes and say, I am just going to relax, even with the most favored process that you follow, maybe having a cup of tea, maybe having a glass of wine, maybe having a sweet or a chocolate or ice cream or whatever, your favorite pastime, and you say, I'm just going to sit down and relax. Okay. Sit down and now try to relax. And look inside what's going on in the brain. Watch your mind. It is flying all over the place. And the thoughts are not even related. They are not even connected. Oh, right after this, I'm going to call my mother. That SOB has never returned my call, has it? Wait a minute. I thought you were thinking of your mother. How did your boyfriend suddenly come into the picture? And thinking of, he has not returned the call. Last time, he made me pay 50% of the dinner. Wait a minute, what's the relationship? Where did this thought come from? Not only that, I had to walk home. I was so mad. I thought you were relaxing. Why are you getting mad? On something that happened a week ago. Aren't these the natural occurrence? Experiential awareness of every single human. That when you sit down to relax, mind says, the body can sit, eat or drink whatever it wants, but I am going to play. I am going to run around. Because sitting quietly means my death, and I'm not going to allow it. So what happens? How do you overcome it? You ask for that grace. You become worthy of that grace. That benediction. Nanak naam gur bhakti paiye gur charani chit lamana. Put your consciousness in the feet of that ultimate creator. Okay, fine, I got it. Help me get started. Let's get started. Sachaa sayvee, sach saalaahee. In a single 4 words, it has described everything. Sachaa sayvee, sach saalaahee. Only remember the purest form of the truth. Don't compromise. Don't make exceptions. In our language, we justify this. Every rule has exceptions. Right? How comfortably we repeat it. Every rule has an exception. Actually, the exception proves that there is a rule. If you are going to be a meditator, get this out of your vocabulary. Get it out. There is one rule which has no exception. And that is focusing on the truth. That is the meditation. Meditation has no exception. Not even one. No impurity. None whatsoever. Sachaa sayvee, sach saalaahee. Focus on the purest form of the truth. Remember the purest form of the truth. But if your truth is impure, what are you going to do? If you have been brought up with a paradigm that there is a God and there is a devil, and God has no control over the devil, what he does. Now what are you going to do? You have just defined your God who is incapable of controlling the devil. Devil is completely free. He does what he does. He corrupts the minds of the people. And God is completely helpless. So instead of punishing the devil who is corrupting the mind, he punishes the mind who is getting corrupted. Isn't that an interesting paradigm? God is helpless because devil is doing something. And God is not going after the devil, he is coming after me because I got corrupted. Why did you go after the devil and say, don't corrupt this man? I don't like corruption. And you are corrupting the man who is trying to remember me. No, he cannot be punished. Because the God is impotent when it comes to the devil. Oh, by the way, he is all powerful, omnipresent, omniscient, omni-knowing, everything he knows. He did not know that the angel that he created is going to become a devil. He had no clue. But he is all knowing. Can you see the impurity in the model? In the thinking process? In the stories that we are raised with from the early childhood? Now I am going to reward the one who is not corrupted, I am going to punish the one who is corrupted. And by the way, the punishment is till the eternity. You make one mistake, I am going to throw you into a hellfire and burn you for eternity. No forgiveness allowed. That's your model. But devil will be forgiven for everything. You will not be forgiven for even one thing. That's your model of your God. Then you are not remembering the truth. You are not remembering the purity. You are remembering the impurity. And for a meditator, the first requirement, sachaa, sayvee, sach, saalaahee. Remember the ultimate truth and talk only about the ultimate truth. Saalaahee means to praise, to talk about. If you get this and you start moving in that direction, here is a miracle for you. Sache naa-ay dukh kabhi naahee. Dukh means the misery, the suffering. And that doesn't mean just the physical suffering. That means mental suffering, intellectual suffering, social suffering, economic suffering. You talk any kinds of suffering. If you are focused on that, you will transcend the suffering. Now see the distinction. It's not saying that you will not fall sick, the physical suffering. It says you will transcend it. Why? Because you are not focused on the body anymore. You are not thinking of the body, you are thinking of Him. You are focused on Him. Because your awareness is not connected with the body, the muscle can be in pain. And you will say, the muscle is hurting. You will never say, I am hurting. because you cannot hurt. You are already connected with him. Hurt belongs to the muscle, the bone, the body. Hurt does not belong to the I, the one that is inside you, which is connected with him. Your consciousness shifts. Every mother knows that when a child falls on the ground, is scratched, and he is hurting, and he comes running, crying to the mother. What does she do? She takes the child, bring the first aid, put a little band-aid, clean up the wound. But the muscle is hurting. So what does she do? She knows what child enjoys the most. And what do all children enjoy the most? Sweets. Isn't it? The mother gives them a candy, a cake, chocolate. Where did the pain go? What happened to the pain? He is not crying anymore. The muscle is still hurting because the wound is fresh. What did the mother do? She shifted the consciousness for the child. Rather than thinking of the scratches on the knee, he is enjoying the taste of the chocolate. Muscle pain is still there, but he is not feeling. The meditation is the chocolate for the soul and the mind. The body might hurt. It will have no awareness. It will be enjoying the taste of his memory, connected with him. Sachai naa-ay, dukh kabhi naa-ay. It is an eternal law. Kabhi naa-ay means never ever. It cannot happen if you are focused on the purity. Because if you are focused on the impurity, thinking on him, the devil will come back and you start thinking of the devil. You start thinking of the negative. But if your model becomes pure, if you rise above those stories and start thinking, no, he is the purest. These are just the stories to explain certain things in a simplistic way, that's all. They are not the real thing. He is neither the punisher nor the rewarder. He is beyond both. He is the purest. Pure consciousness, with no positive or negative. And he is really all powerful. If he wants, he can smite the devil anytime he wants. If the devil still exists, that means he wants this drama to continue. It is his will, which is the understanding at the moment on the cross. Thy will be done. This is all your drama. Romans are no longer Romans and the prosecutors. Thy will be done. If you can rise above this, then sukh-daata sayvan sukh paa-in gurmat man vasaavani-aa. Then it makes home in your heart forever. Man vasaavani-aa. Man means mind, vasaavani means to just go and live there forever. If you rise above this, this miracle is bound to happen. It will become part of your total consciousness, subconsciousness, your memory. Anytime a negative thought comes, you will say, it is as well. I am not the doer. You are. You will stop taking the credit for everything and anything. You will stop saying, I am eating, I am drinking, I am sleeping, I am resting, I am talking, I am listening. You stop. You'll get away from it. You are eating, you are listening, you are talking. You will not be connected with this instrument any longer. It's a fundamental requirement. sachaa sayvee, sach saalaahee, sachai naa-ay, dukh naahee, sukh-daata, sayvan, paa-in, gurmat, vasaavani-aa. Then it goes into your mind, goes into your heart, it goes into your consciousness, it goes into your memory. Vasaavani-aa, jee-o sahj, samaaDh lagaavani-aa. Vasaavani-aa, surrender your ego. Your only block on this journey, your ego, me, the I, my smartness, my thinking, my awareness, my knowledge, my meditation, my discipline, my. Change the samai into you. What happens? Try saying both of them together. Try saying my and you together. Can you? You can either say my or you can say you. Isn't it? Stop saying my, I. Start saying you, he. The whole thing changes. We keep on asking, how do I go about it? On the Facebook, somebody put a wisdom from Buddha. They send a statement every day. And yesterday's statement was, don't ask me how. Just change your thinking. That's all. Now, where is the how in this? Where is the process? Either you eat something or you don't eat something. Where is the middle ground? You say, decide I'm going to eat, fine. No, I'm not going to eat, fine. Can you say I'm going to eat and not eat at the same time? There are only two conditions. Change your mind. Change your thought. The moment you change your thought, everything else will change automatically. There will be no pain associated with it. There will be no effort associated with it. Today you are believing this, start believing something else, everything else shifts. Either believe he is all forgiving. If you believe in he is all forgiving, where comes the punishment now? How can you believe at the same time he is all forgiving? Oh, but he punishes when I make a mistake. What happened to his forgiveness? He is all knowing, but he doesn't know the devil. How is he all knowing? He is all powerful, but he cannot remove this. How is he all powerful? You either believe this or believe that. Shift your thinking and everything else will shift. You don't have to do anything else. Hamari jiyomari sukh sahj samaaDh lagaavani-aa. You will go into the samadhi if you understand the purity. Jo har sayvee se sadaa soheh sobhaa suhaavani-aa. Those who have understood it and implemented it, what happened? Sobhaa. Sobhaa literally means the praise, the commendations. Then you start seeing and hearing that you are on the positive track. Sabko tera bhagat kahaa-ay, sei bhagat tere man bhaa-ay. Here comes the ego again. Sabko tera bhagat kahaa-ay. Everybody says, I am the real meditator. I am his follower. I am his believer. Everybody else is a non-believer. Isn't it? It is mind-boggling how the thinking. Islam says there is no other test for a Muslim if he does three things: believe in one God, believe in his messenger, and believe in the Quran. He is a Muslim. As we speak, Pakistan constitution was modified declaring Ahmadiyyats to be non-Muslim. What do the Ahmadiyyats say? One Allah, one Muhammad, and one Quran. But the entire Pakistan constitution says, we won't buy it. Why not? Because you have started listening to the teaching of a particular Muslim whose name was Ahmad, born in India about 150 years ago. And he came and he said, I'm going to only focus on the positive message of Quran. That's it. Rest of the Muslims said, if you are saying you are only taking a portion of the Quran, you are not a Muslim. So, killing them, murdering them, pushing them out of the country, taking their possessions by power, by force, is all legal. This is your God? This is your Allah? That you kill each other because I am a better Muslim. I am more religious than you are. And because you are not as religious as me, I am going to kill you. When you take this model, how are you going to get closer to him? You are starting with the falsehood. But you are still calling yourself to the purest. This is the land of the pure. Sabko tera bhagat kahaa-ay. Everybody keeps on declaring, I am the real one. Okay, fine. Everybody is saying I am the real one. Who is the real one? How will you test it? How will you know? Sei bhagat tere man bhaa-ay. The real one are those who are truly blessed by you and accepted by you. Because whose ego is paramount, he can never be accepted by you. If the ego is driving the life, then they are automatically connected with the outside world. They have nothing to do with the inside world. sei bhagat tere man bhaa-ay, sach bani tude saalaahee rang raate bhagat karaavani-aa. Those who are connected with you, they are connected with the purest form of the truth. And the purest truth becomes their total being, every drop of their blood, every breath, the surat, the consciousness, chetanta. Everything is only connected with the purest form. No impurity, no ifs and buts, no exceptions. सबको सच्चे हर जियो तेरा, गुरमुख मिले त चुपके फेरा। जहां तुद भावे ता naa-ay रचावे तू आपे नाओ japaavani-aa. Understand, remember it always. If this revolution is coming within you, be very alert. Don't think you are doing it. Don't take the credit for it. Otherwise, the ego is coming from the back door now. I am becoming a meditator. You are not. It is a very, very hideous animal. It will come from the back door. So be very alert to that. Which is, सबको सच्चे हर जियो तेरा. O the ultimate creator, O the ultimate truth. It's all you. Sabko tera, everything. No exception. You go to the church, you take the money out of your pocket and you tell God, I am giving in your name. Here's my offering to you. And God is having fun. He's asking you, where did you get it? If you give me the gift, and I take that gift and pass on to her, do you feel good about it when you find out that you gave me the gift I gave to? It was my gift. How dare you do this? Look what we are doing. We are doing even worse than that. We are getting a gift from him and returning it back to him and saying, this is my gift to you. Isn't it? What is the donation? He gives you all the wealth. He rewards you for your labor. And then you take the credit by returning a portion of that back to him and say, here. And you say, when will you grow up? You have nothing to give me except one thing, which is completely yours. I did not give it to you. You took it from the world the moment you were born. I did not send you with it. Try to ask a 6-month-old baby and see if he can tell you or she can tell you, I want this. That I isn't ready yet. The child might say, the baby wants it. But child doesn't say, I want it, because I is not ready yet. It is not a gift from him. It's a gift from the society, the parent, the university, the colleges. That belongs to you. That is something you can certainly give to him. If you want to give him any gift, give your ego to him. That truly belongs to you. Everything else is given by him. You are just returning it back. You cannot get any credit for it. You cannot claim it. We have a name for such people, philanthropists. What? This guy makes a lot of money and gives it out. He gets the credit. So and so is running a big charity. Where is that wealth coming from? Was he born with it? Certainly not. That gift was given to him by the Creator. If he is distributing it, sharing it with, he is not obliging anybody. He's supposed to do that. That exactly was the reason. If he is not doing it or she is not doing it, he is actually breaking the promise they made. That we will share it, distribute it. We will not compile it and keep it. It is a job they were supposed to do. They should have given the ego back to him. And say, something I earned here of my own. This is the fruit of my labor. I surrender to you. Bowing your head anywhere means exactly that. Bowing your head. I am surrendering my ego. We don't even know. Why do we go and we bow? And every religion does that. Christians do it, Muslims do it, Hindus do it, Sikhs do it, Buddhists do it. They all do it. But they have no clue why they're bending their head. Because the head represents the I, the intellect. It is a gesture of surrendering. But we never surrender. We only surrender our $10 that we put in the kitty. Everything else we take back. So remember, sabko sache har gyo tera, gurmukh mile tachuke phera. Here is the sign that you are blessed. Here is the test that He has graced you. How has He graced you? Gurmukh mile. Someone who has been there comes into your company. A set of circumstances will bring you into the company of those who are already walking on that path and will hold your hand and say, come join us. It's your choice. Nobody is going to beat you up. Nobody is going to harass you. Nobody is going to compel you. They're just going to invite you. That's it. And if you accept, what happens? Gurmukh mileta chuke phera. Phera means to come back. Then the cycle of life and death starts becoming minimal. Stops. The cycle of life and death gets broken. Jatud paave naa-ay rachave tu ape naa-o japaavani-aa. It is His will. It is His drama that He encourages a few souls, blesses few souls, grace few souls who start connecting with Him. Gurmati har man vasaa-i-aa, har karo sab moh gavaa-i-aa, ek syo lev lagi sadhi har naam man vasaavani-aa. And when you are on that path, positive and negative. Hark means the happiness, sogh means the sadness. It says when you are on that path, these two opposing forces start merging into each other. You are neither attached to this nor attached to that. sokh sab moh gavaa-i-aa, ikkis syo live lagi. Ikkis means the only one, no exception. Ikkis syo live lagi. You are then connected with a single source of all that is. And then sadhi har naam man vasaavani-aa, forever and ever. His memory becomes part of your consciousness, your awareness. That's what is the process to walk on that path. So, we'll take a pause here. And if there are any comments, questions, we welcome it now.